Hey everybody, it's Thorpian. Because Hypixel got a new mayor, a farming mayor named Finnegan, and because he has this weird bonuses to pelts, I decided to make this video because I personally had no idea what pelts were because they're more or less useless. But I figured I should make this video so that you guys would be able to know exactly what pelts were and how to get them in the fastest way possible. So first, let's talk about this new Mayor Finnegan. He has 3 perks. One of the perks is Farming Simulator, so basically you'll just get more crops if you're farming with a hoe, one of the crop hoes, or with a cultivating enchantment. The other perk, which is actually pretty cool, is Goaded, which means that the Jacob's farming contest includes 10% more people. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you actually look, what it really means is that instead of being the top 5, top 25%, and then top, I think that's supposed to be top 50. What you're getting is the top 15% get gold. So obviously silver and bronze, the display is bugged. But what I want you guys to know is that if you ever want to go for gold, like if you ever want those gold medals, those unique gold medals from Anita over here, of which I have none. Anyway, if you ever want those gold medals, the time to go for them is during Finnegan because you'll have a much, much higher chance of being able to get them, especially for the crazy ones like Netherwart, although that one might still be basically impossible. All right. Anyway, but we're really here to talk about this third perk, which is Pelt Apocalypse. This allows you to obtain 1.5 times more pelts from Trevor in the desert. You can hunt a new trapper mob, which nobody cares about, and you can purchase items from a new trapper shop. So let's talk about this Trevor fellow because I had no idea what he was, what he does, and what he's for. So you warp over to the desert, or you walk to the desert, and you can teleport like me over to here, or you can walk here. Obviously, I'll show you the coordinates here. It's 292 or 288, 102, negative 573. And you pop into this cave and you have your friend Trevor. Now, Trevor will give you a task and you can hunt an animal. And when you find these animals, you will get pelts. What do you do with pelts? Well, the original purpose of pelts was to talk to this guy Tony over here, Tony, and he's gonna sell you the minions. So he's gonna sell you tier 12 minions for farming. This is kind of the way to upgrade those minions from tier 11 to tier 12. They're a pretty solid upgrade from tier 11, generally speaking. They go a lot faster, but farming minions are basically outclassed by other minions, so people don't really use these very often. But this new guy is who we're going to talk to. This guy's name is Talbot. Talbot, in case you were wondering, is Finnegan's friend, because that's very important for us to know. And he sells these 4 new items that you buy with pelts. Item 1 is a travel scroll to the Trapper's Den. I feel like this kind of sucks, honestly. It was pretty quick to get here, but whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody's obviously buying them. I wouldn't buy these to sell at the moment because they're going to crash in price because they don't really serve a purpose. There's these Talbot's Theodolite, which basically lets you track the mob you're going for. It's not that great because these are usually pretty easy to find, though every once in a while you'll get stuck. But it's only 80 pelts, so probably worth a buy if you're going to be doing a lot of this. The Pelt Belt, which is kind of sucky. I mean, you get +1 pelt from tracker quest, which is nice if you're basically doing this for a while, but it'll take 250 hunts to pay itself back. So not great, but it does give farming wisdom +1. So if you're into a lot of farming, this is technically a farming item that you otherwise wouldn't have had. And then the Trapper Crest, which will upgrade to an uncommon rarity if you collect 500 pets while Finnegan is in office. It's an accessory, which means that everybody will get it because they want that magical power. So therefore, this item is the one to go for if you're trying to basically sell pelts by using these. It also increases the odds of finding endangered or elusive mobs by 10%, which can be handy if you're going to be doing this hunting. So I'd recommend getting this first and then probably getting more of these to sell, and maybe picking up a couple of these if you find you can't find your mobs quick enough, or if you just have way too many pelts and don't know what to do with them. All right, so there's this other person here that'll explain to you what animals are, but that's not really important. Trevor's the big one, and here, so we're going to go hunting for this mob. So they each have some very minor abilities, which basically tell you should probably use a ranged weapon when you hunt them. As their rarity increases, you get more pelts from them, and they are more able to hide from you either by going invisible or by running away. Now, again, using a ranged weapon basically counteracts this entirely. So Trevor is going to tell you the location of your mobs, and the location of your mobs is going to be in one of 6 different locations: the Mushroom Gorge, the Oasis, and a few others. Basically, this gives you a general vicinity of where to look. So I'm going to go ahead and hunt this mob here just so you see what that looks like. So you can also kill other people's mobs from their trackers while you're hunting. What purpose that serves? For you, unfortunately, nothing. You don't get like a loot share of their pelts, which I think you absolutely should. But the other person does get the full pelts, so I like to kill other people's mobs when I see them. And usually you actually won't see them because they'll be invisible. However, and this is probably a bug and oversight, so this may not last, but it's kind of nice. And if you want to grab 5 people and like each of you camp a location, you can do this hunting insanely fast if you have an Aurora set. The Aurora set gives you the ability to see the runic affinity of enemies. Now, that isn't actually important. What's important is it makes shiny particles dance on the enemies. So, if there's an invisible enemy, you'll still see the shiny particles dancing on them. That's pretty cool. Pretty convenient. Unfortunately, like I said, for you, it provides little benefit. But for, other people that are hunting on the same mini server or server, then you can help them, and if they have the set, they can help you very easily because they will see your invisible mobs and can kill them. It also helps if your own mobs go invisible because then you can see them and you can kill them. But generally speaking, if they're invisible, you're pretty close to them, and if you're using a ranged weapon, that's kind of a non-issue. So, I said before that the compass may not be that useful. I take that back. I've had a couple mobs that are just impossible to find. So you may want to get that compass if you're going to be doing any of this. So there we go. Oh, nope, I killed someone else's track mob. Darn. Okay. So anyway, so let's talk about, while I'm trying to find this mob, let's talk about exactly what can make you do this faster, because that's why most of you are probably here, is how to min-max this and do this as quickly as possible. The first thing you want to do is you want to get an Abbey phone, and you want to add Trevor to that Abbey phone. This will allow you to not have to go back to Trevor in order to turn in this quest and get a new one. It costs like 16, maybe 20 pelts, 25 pelts, some small amount of pelts, and 1,000,000 coins. Well worth the investment if you ask me, to not have to travel back and forth. The other thing you will want is a ranged weapon. I am using a heroic Aurora staff just because, I don't know, I really like the fact that it doesn't cost like any real mana. But you can use any ranged weapon essentially that deals out a half decent amount of damage. It doesn't even have to be that good. These mobs aren't that crazy. The next thing that you are going to want is a aspect of the end, or whatever the upgraded version of that is, to be able to teleport around pretty quickly, especially with these like Mushroom Gorge ones, because there's a lot of different Y levels that are going on here, and it can be a real pain to try to find these mobs. And that's it, guys. That's really all you want. The only other thing I might recommend is a husbandry sack, because if you're like me and you randomly kill things while you're running around, you will fill up your inventory, and that just gets annoying after a while. All right, guys, that's it for... Oh, there it is. No, that's someone else's mob. Gosh darn it. All right. Anyway, guys, that's it for the Trevor the Trapper. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll be able to see more helpful guides about how to do things and how to do them well. All right, guys, it's good to see you, and bye. I finally found the stupid sheep, just so you know. A lot of times it'll be a weird mob, like a sheep that doesn't belong where it is, and it'll have the name on it. And boom, 9 pelts, and now I can call Trevor, and we can get our next hunt on.